Imagine being able to roughly determine the direction of an earthquake's origin using a device created over 1,800 years ago. Zhang Heng's seismograph, designed in 132 AD, was ahead of its time in its ability to detect tremors and give us a clue about the earthquake's direction. Fast forward to today, and while we've made advancements in seismic technology, predicting earthquakes with absolute precision still eludes us. It's fascinating how Zhang Heng's invention set the stage for earthquake detection, and at the same time, it leaves us wondering why we haven't yet developed a more reliable system. Outro. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more exciting content. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Archaeologists are currently exploring bombed-out land near a 13th century cathedral in Belgium, where a fascinating and peculiar artifact has been uncovered, the Baloch dagger. This unusual find is easily one of the most intriguing discoveries from the site. A Baloch dagger is designed to be worn around the waist, offering the possibility of being used as a backup weapon in case the primary weapon, such as a sword, was lost during combat. There are several theories about how this weapon received its memorable name. One explanation is that the two spherical shapes on the handle resemble testes. Another theory is that when worn around the waist, the blade would hang near the testes, and as any British person knows, the most common slang term for testes in the UK is bollocks. A third theory suggests that the weapon was named after the part of the body it was intended to target, but we'll leave that to the imagination. In March 2022, a collection of 40,000-year-old stone tools was discovered in Chama Bay, China. While it's not unusual to find ancient stone tools, these are special for several reasons. Not only are they about 40,000 years old, but they also do not resemble any other known stone tools. The tools found include mostly bladelets, some still attached to fragments of bone handles. These tools were used for various tasks, such as boring wood, scraping hides, and whittling plant materials. So far, nearly 400 tools have been uncovered, but what makes them even more significant is that no other Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, or Denisovans are known to have used tools like this during the same period. This site may have served as a workshop for creating these tools, with evidence that the ground around it was stained red with ochre, possibly used for tanning animal hides. While experts believe the inhabitants of Chama Bay were humans rather than Denisovans or Neanderthals, they cannot be certain about which group they belong to. These individuals may have even belonged to an entirely unique culture, providing valuable insight into the origins of tool-making and its role in human history. Another significant discovery was made in September 2021 in Karahoyak, Turkey, where archaeologists uncovered evidence of one of the earliest known clothing-making practices. This discovery is particularly notable because it comes from a region where as many as 10,000 people lived together nearly 9,000 years ago. Settling down permanently during the Stone Age was not common, yet these people did, creating the largest known community of the time. This discovery opens a window into the early days of clothing production, which is one of the oldest human practices. By studying these ancient communities and their ability to craft clothing, we may gain insight into how early humans adapted to their environment and began shaping their identity through the clothes they wore. The early textiles from the Neolithic era. In the fascinating world of ancient history, few discoveries stir up as much intrigue as the remnants left behind by early civilizations. One such discovery, dating back over 8,500 years, has challenged our previous understanding of early human craftsmanship. Found in a known settlement from the Neolithic era, This small scrap of fabric has provided a glimpse into the beginnings of clothing making. For years, experts believed that early humans used linen as the primary material for making clothes. However, this new discovery suggests that the first human-made clothing might have actually been crafted from bast fibers, rather than linen. This ancient scrap of cloth reveals that early textiles may have been created using plants rather than the expected animal fibers. It adds a surprising new layer to our understanding of how early humans adapted to their environments and shaped their identity. The astrolabe discovery, a truly groundbreaking find for archaeologists, is the recovery of an astrolabe, an ancient piece of navigation technology that allowed people to track celestial bodies in the sky. In October 2021, archaeologists discovered one such astrolabe in the Viviera estuary in northwestern Spain. This astrolabe, the 108th of its kind to be found, is thought to have been created between 1575 and 1622. Astrolabes were essential for maritime navigation in the Age of Exploration, allowing sailors to determine the position of their ships by aligning the instrument with the sun during the day or with stars at night. The precision with which these astrolabes were made makes them among the top-tier preserved artifacts. Representing the pinnacle of navigational technology in the late Renaissance. The enigmatic Disk of Sabu, among the most mysterious artifacts ever discovered, is the Disk of Sabu. Also known as the schist disk or Saqqara disk, this 5,000-year-old artifact was found in the ancient burial grounds of Saqqara, Egypt, and its purpose remains a puzzle to archaeologists. The best guess is that it may have once served as a highly intricate candlestick holder. Though this explanation is met with skepticism. The use of obsidian, an extremely difficult material to work with, raises further questions. Why would the ancient Egyptians go through the trouble of crafting such a complex object from obsidian? Especially when other, more workable materials were readily available. The disk's unusual wheel-like shape only adds to the mystery. As ancient Egyptians were not known for working with wheels during this time period. As of now, the true purpose of the Disk of Sabu remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt. And it continues to captivate archaeologists and historians alike. Archaeologists are currently exploring bombed-out land near a 13th-century cathedral in Belgium, where a fascinating and peculiar artifact has been uncovered, the Baalak dagger. This unusual find is easily one of the most intriguing discoveries from the site. A Baalak dagger is designed to be worn around the waist, offering the possibility of being used as a backup weapon in case the primary weapon, such as a sword, was lost during combat. There are several theories about how this weapon received its memorable name. One explanation is that the two spherical shapes on the handle resemble testes. Another theory is that when worn around the waist, the blade would hang near the testes, and as any British person knows, The most common slang term for testes in the UK is bollocks. A third theory suggests that the weapon was named after the part of the body it was intended to target, but we'll leave that to the imagination. In March 2022, a collection of 40,000-year-old stone tools was discovered in Chama Bay, China. While it's not unusual to find ancient stone tools, these are special for several reasons. Not only are they about 40,000 years old, but they also do not resemble any other known stone tools. The tools found include mostly bladelets, some still attached to fragments of bone handles. These tools were used for various tasks, such as boring wood, scraping hides, and whittling plant materials. So far, nearly 400 tools have been uncovered, but what makes them even more significant is that no other Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, or Denisovans are known to have used tools like this during the same period. This site may have served as a workshop for creating these tools, with evidence that the ground around it was stained red with ochre, possibly used for tanning animal hides. While experts believe the inhabitants of Chama Bay were humans rather than Denisovans or Neanderthals, they cannot be certain about which group they belonged to. These individuals may have even belonged to an entirely unique culture, providing valuable insight into the origins of tool making and its role in human history. Another significant discovery was made in September 2021 in Karahoyak, Turkey, where archaeologists uncovered evidence of one of the earliest known clothing-making practices. This discovery is particularly notable because it comes from a region where as many as 10,000 people lived together nearly 9,000 years ago. Settling down permanently during the Stone Age was not common, yet these people did, creating the largest known community of the time. This discovery opens a window into the early days of clothing production, which is one of the oldest human practices. By studying these ancient communities and their ability to craft clothing, we may gain insight into how early humans adapted to their environment and began shaping their identity through the clothes they wore. When it comes to mysterious stone structures that defy explanation, Mystery Hill seems like the perfect name for one. Located in Salem, New Hampshire, USA, this ancient site is sometimes referred to as America's Stonehenge. Estimated to be around 4,000 years old, Mystery Hill consists of a series of underground chambers, some of which appear to be aligned with the stars. While it is widely believed that early Native Americans were responsible for the structure, its true origins remain elusive. Some fringe theorists suggest that the chambers were built by the ancient Celts, pointing to similarities with other structures across Europe. However, there is a major issue with this theory. If the Celts were the creators of these chambers, they would have had to have been present in North America 4,000 years ago. The mystery of Mystery Hill remains unsolved, leaving many to wonder about its true origins. In mid-2020, scientists in Antarctica were astounded when they discovered a large, potato-shaped fossil on Seymour Island. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was a 68-million-year-old soft-shelled egg. Initially dubbed the Thing, this discovery was so perplexing that it challenged existing knowledge about marine reptiles during the age of dinosaurs. Scientists now believe that this egg might belong to a previously unknown species of marine reptile that lived alongside dinosaurs. It has appended previous assumptions about species like the mosasaur and long-necked plesiosaurus, which were once thought to give birth to live young rather than laying eggs. Paleontologist Rodrigo Otero from the University of Chile remarked that neither he nor his colleagues had ever encountered anything like it before. The lack of embryonic remains inside the egg means we don't know what the creature might have looked like, but the find certainly changes our understanding of the reproductive behaviors of ancient marine reptiles. Next, we encounter a rather peculiar artifact, known as the Bollock dagger, which might also raise a few eyebrows, especially if you're British. Discovered in March 2020 near a 13th century cathedral in Belgium, this unique dagger is quite a sight to behold. The Balak dagger, named for its unusual shape resembling to round ballocks, has puzzled historians. While its exact significance is still unclear, the dagger offers a glimpse into the peculiarities of medieval craftsmanship and the mysteries of historical artifacts. The discovery of mysterious sandstone jars has sparked significant intrigue, with many drawing parallels to the famous Plain of Jars in Laos. Experts believe these jars might have been used in ancient burial rituals, and could have once contained size standing around 10 feet tall. The jars are certainly large enough to have held such remains. Are still uncertain about which culture created these jars. They do not think they are linked to any of the ethnic groups or cultures that exist in India today. The local Naga people have known about the jars for years, occasionally finding cremated bones and personal items inside them. However, they do not believe their ancestors created them. While research is still ongoing, it's possible that this mystery may never be fully resolved, leaving us to ponder the purpose and origin of these ancient artifacts. Joggins Fossil Cliffs. The Joggins Fossil Cliffs in Nova Scotia, Canada, offer an extraordinary window into life on Earth over 300 million years ago. The site holds the fossils of some of the world's earliest known reptiles, including Hylonomus lyelli. The fossil Hylonomus lyelli is particularly significant, as it was declared the provincial fossil of Nova Scotia in 2002. The site itself is so important to the fossil record that it was included in Charles Darwin's renowned work on the origin of species. The fossils found here provide a rare and valuable glimpse into a world that existed long before the dinosaurs. Exposed to the elements, the cliffs continually yield fossils that were once deep within the rock. Scientists must brave 75-foot-tall cliffs, lashed by 50-foot-high tides. The Joggins Fossil Cliffs were recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2008, further cementing their global significance in understanding Earth's ancient past. Many archaeologists and historians have found themselves baffled by certain ancient artifacts, especially those located in Abancay. Despite the efforts of numerous experts who have traveled to see the monolith in person, all have returned home defeated, unable to make sense of its origins. The exact time when this monolith was carved remains a mystery, though most believe it was created sometime between the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, placing it within the Inca period. But the question remains, why did the Inca people create it? The monolith is intricately covered in carvings of animals, yet also features lines and curves that some interpret as representing canals or roads. Some even claim to see depictions of residential dwellings and temples among the designs. The level of detail in the carvings is so complex that fringe historians have posited a fascinating theory: that the Sciut Monolith may be a topographic model used by the Inca to experiment with artificial canals. The theory suggests that the Inca would pour water onto the surface, observe how it flowed, and use this information to replicate similar water channels in the land around them. If this theory holds, it would indicate that the Inca were pioneering in town and irrigation planning on an almost unimaginable scale as early as the 5th, 10th century. Next, we move to India, where a collection of mysterious sandstone jars was discovered in Assam. The discovery, announced in March 2022, has left historians and archaeologists equally perplexed. A total of 65 jars were found, each unique in its shape and design, with no two jars being identical. The striking difference has intrigued researchers, leading them to search for possible explanations behind their creation. Interestingly, the decorated jars bear some similarities to other historical artifacts found across different regions, but their precise purpose and origins remain unknown. Could these jars have had a ritualistic function? Or were they part of an ancient, forgotten technology. Only time and further study will uncover the full story behind these enigmatic sandstone jars. Both of these discoveries, the Sciut Monolith in Peru and the sandstone jars in India, raise fascinating questions about ancient civilizations. Their abilities to plan, design, and innovate continue to captivate researchers and historians, leaving us all to wonder about the lost knowledge of our ancestors. Some discoveries remain so baffling that they even stump the greatest minds of our time. When a scientist encounters a mystery too perplexing to solve, they turn to their peers. If that doesn't work, they turn to the brightest minds in their field. But when no one can provide an answer, we are left with a true scientific enigma. Today, we're diving into some of the world's greatest scientific mysteries that have puzzled experts and continue to spark our curiosity. The Oklo Reactor. Imagine a naturally occurring nuclear reactor, a concept that sounds unbelievable, yet it exists. This reactor is known as the Oklo Reactor, located in the remote region of Oklo, Gabon. Remarkably, it is the world's first and, as far as we know, the only natural nuclear reactor. Over 2 billion years ago, this region's uranium-rich mineral deposits became flooded with groundwater, creating a nuclear chain reaction that lasted for years, generating energy. The heat produced by these reactions raised the temperature inside the uranium deposits to such extreme levels that the surrounding water boiled away. However, the incredible thing about this natural process is that every time the temperature dropped below boiling point, the nuclear reactions reignited and continued to sustain themselves. This phenomenon was proven through the discovery of xenon gas, a byproduct of uranium fission, present in the surrounding rock. When traces of depleted uranium were found in the area during the 1970s, initial fears arose that someone had stolen the uranium for use in creating nuclear weapons. But against all odds, it turned out that the mystery had a natural explanation. It's a captivating thought. There's nothing to prevent this phenomenon from happening again somewhere else in the world. The Sciut Monolith. Now, let's turn to another mind-bending mystery, the Sciut Monolith in Peru. It's almost inconceivable that this ancient structure could have been created without modern technology, such as computers or advanced machinery. The monolith's surface is adorned with over 100 distinct carvings, and the level of precision and complexity involved in their creation leaves experts questioning how it was possible. The monolith's sheer size, intricate designs, and mysterious origin challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations. How did these people, with limited tools, manage to carve such detailed patterns? What was the purpose behind these designs? As we study this monument, we realize that we're only scratching the surface of a much larger, unanswered story. This mystery ignites our imagination and fuels the idea that, perhaps, ancient civilizations possessed knowledge and skills that have long been forgotten or, perhaps, never fully understood. From the Oklo Reactor, which reveals nature's power to create energy in ways we never imagined, to the Sciut Monolith, which hints at ancient technologies and wisdom lost to time. These mysteries offer us a tantalizing glimpse into the unknown. The more we uncover, the more questions we have. These discoveries not only spark our curiosity, but also challenge our perceptions of the world around us, reminding us that there's so much more to learn and explore. What if there are more natural wonders and ancient secrets yet to be uncovered? What if our understanding of history and science is only the tip of the iceberg? These questions propel us forward into a future of exploration, inspiring us to seek the answers that may one day solve the greatest mysteries of all. Embrace the unknown, dive into the mysteries, and let the pursuit of knowledge ignite your curiosity. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered.